Hi everyone, so I came back to film an intro for you because my battery camera died. So I had to let it charge while I ran some errands, and then I came back to film this for you. So this look will feature my go-to everyday look that I love to do. It's what I'm wearing. Sorry, I'm wearing the hat. You can't really see. But it's my go-to everyday that I can kind of put on and whip up in like 10-15 minutes. There's a lot of technique to the eye work, so it might take a while to get that down, but that's what I show you in the tutorial. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So first I'm going to prime my face using the Photo Finish Primer Water by Smashbox. I use this every single time I do my makeup. I just spray that all over my face, and the reason I use that is to hydrate. I have very dry skin, so I like to put that on first, let that dry a little bit. And then next I'm going to go in with the Step 1 Skin Equalizer Makeup Forever. This pretty much just smooths out any large pores that I may have in the T-zone area. So I like to put that on to kind of even out the skin and fill the pores. So I'll just press that in my problem areas. All over my T-zone area. And a little on the forehead. Okay. So now that we're all primed up and ready to go, next I'm gonna go in and do the eyes. So I will go in with the Painterly Paint Pot by MAC, and any brush will do. I just use my IT Cosmetics little brush here that I have, and I just go in, dip it in the pot, and put that all over the lid. I'll zoom you guys in once I start putting the eyeshadow on. So I'll just put a little bit on the lid and spread it all out. This helps keep your eyeshadow on all day long. So essentially you're priming your eyes. They have eyeshadow primer out there. This is an eyeshadow base, and I just like to use this for my primer or eyeshadow base to help keep the eyeshadow on all day. So after I put that on with the brush, I'll go in with my finger and I'll just kind of pat that all in and blend it out. The reason I do my eyeshadow before my base foundation, is because sometimes you can make a mess all over your face with fallout of the eyeshadow colors. And I don't know, I just like to go in with my eyeshadow first and then my foundation, because I also like to clean up these areas with concealer and sharpen it up. You can also use tape if you want like a really sharp edge on the outside. That's another trick. You can use tape, you can clean it up with concealer. You can also use translucent powder, put it right there. There's a lot of different things you can do to clean up the eye area. And everybody does their makeup different. I just like to go in with that first. I just like to go in with the eyeshadow first. So after I have that all blended in, I'm gonna go ahead and start my eyeshadow. So I will zoom you in now. Silk Cream, it's the third shade in the palette. And I am going to take that on a Morphe M441 brush. Just looks like that, fluffy brush. And I am going to put that all in a crease. Windshield wiper motions, and then you can go back and forth in a circular motion, all in the crease. How much product you put on is up to you. I'd put a moderate amount in the crease. I'm gonna blend this up and out and put more colors on top, but this is my transition color. So again, windshield wiper motions, and then I will go from outer quarter to inner corner in circular motions and just kind of blend the entire crease out. Until you feel like you have a good blended out transition color. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with the shade MFEO right next to it. And it is a little bit darker. And I'm gonna take that on the same exact brush I was using. So you go from lightest to a little bit darker to a little bit darker, so you just keep building it and building it up. And I'll put that right over top of what I just did. And you just build it up. And I'm doing the same exact motions I did with the very first color. Windshield wiper motions, and then small circular motions back and forth. And really any technique will do. This is just the way I like to do it to get a really blended, seamless look. Okay, now you don't have to put too much on to intensify it because it will build up pretty quickly. All right, next color I'm going to go in with is this shade right here, and it is called Pooter. When Jaclyn Hill created this palette, she wanted to name all of her colors with her personal life, and I think that's so cool of her not to just go with basic stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna pick up that product, tap off the excess, and then I'm gonna go back in right on top, but keep it a little bit lower in the crease. Just focus the darker shade more in the crease and not so blended out. And I like to keep this more so on the outer corner and in the very crease. And I don't really blend it out too intensely. I know it seems like a lot when you're building colors, but trust me, in the end, it'll all look seamless and come together. When you stack more colors on top of each other, it just looks very blended as you get, as it goes up. If it looks like you're having harsh lines or whatever on the outsides, don't worry. I'll show you how to go in and blend it all out. But blending definitely takes time, so take your time. Obviously, if you don't have the time, and you don't want to do a look like this, go for more of a natural, no eye makeup look. But I can do this pretty quickly if I'm not filming. Alright, so once you have those colors down, you go in with an even darker shade. And I'm gonna go in with, let's see, I'm gonna mix two colors. It's going to be this color here and this color here. So Buns and Mocha. Buns and Mocha. I'm gonna mix those two colors with the same brush. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you the brush was M513 by Morphe. That was the second brush from this fluffy one. It's more of a pointed, denser brush. And I'm mixing those two colors together, and I'm just gonna focus on the outer corner this time. So I like to pat it on first. Pick up as much product as you need. Tap off the excess. Why do I keep saying that? Excess. And just build up the intensity. And this is just going to be your outer corner color. Again, don't worry too much about cleaning up down here or anything, because we will clean that up with, if you get too much fallout down here, which this palette doesn't give me a ton of fallout, but if you get much fallout down below, you can always just use a makeup wipe, or if it's just powder, you can flick it away with like a duo fiber brush, something like this. You can just flick it away. But if you end up making a mess with your eyeshadow, you can use a makeup wipe or makeup remover. Anything will do, and that's exactly why I don't do my foundation first. Okay, so once I have that outer color, see it's not very blended in, I'll wipe off any excess eyeshadow I have on my brush. And then I'm going to go in and kind of buff it out. It doesn't matter what you get in the inner corner, because we're going to go in with a different shade. So I'm just blending it all together. So there's no really any harsh lines. I'm going to go back in with the first brush I was using and just go over the very top and blend it all out. It's going to look like I brought my eyeshadow all the way up, but at the end, after I do my brows, I'll do my brow highlight, and you'll see that it won't look so weird. Okay. Next, I am going to go in and do the inner corner color, and that is going to be the color Obsessed, right here. And it is a shimmery shade, and I like to take the Morphe M167 brush, and it's a shader brush. It looks like this. And what I like to do is spray some of my primer water on it. You can use MAC Fix Plus. You can use any type of spray you may have. Any type of setting spray will work. And I'll dip that into my color and apply on the inner corner. Now what that does is it intensifies your shimmer shade, intensifies it by like times 10. Instead of just going in with the color with nothing on the brush, if you wet the brush, it'll intensify your shimmer color. So I'm going to take that up in the crease and about halfway on my lid and just kind of blend it out. The reason I like to use this brush is because it kind of carves out that inner corner and crease. You can use it to carve it out. And so I'll just blend this back with very little product, blend it all back. Then I'll take more and do the other side. You can also use glitter glue, but I find that if you use the glitter glue for shimmers and you don't let it almost completely dry, then you're gonna get patches. You'll get patches in your eyeshadow and it won't look as seamless. So I recommend spraying your brush as opposed to using the glitter glue. But to each his own, you can do whatever you'd like. That's just my suggestion. So again, I'm just carving it out along the crease, pulling it back and blending it out. Now if you feel like you have two sides that don't match, don't worry, just keep working on it and blend. And if you feel like you're pulling this back too far, don't worry, you can go in with the darker shade and clean it up and blend it out and clean it up and blend it out. It's a work in progress. And I know it seems like a lot of work, but trust me, in the end, you'll get your desired look and you'll be happy with it. So, okay. So normally, I will do my inner corner and then I will go back in and blend. So I feel like I don't have enough on this side. So I'm going to go back in and add a little more. Sorry, am I focused? Okay. Okay, after I get that inner corner shade the way I like it, I'm gonna go in with a black color. And in the same palette, it's called Abyss. It's just the matte black. And I'll take the tiniest bit on the M513. The tiniest bit goes a long way. I'll just dab it one time like that in the palette, or a couple times, and then I'll try and get the most of it off, because I just like to go in very lightly and pat it in there. You can build it up, but you can't take it away. So do the littlest amount first. And the reason I go in with this color is just to kind of drama it up a little bit. Give it more of a smoky feel. And again, we'll blend it out, so. Just pat it in there. And black is a color that is really hard to take away or blend, so take your time. Trust me. All right, so I'm going to brush off any excess black on the brush so I can start blending. You can take a different brush. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use this M433 brush. It's more of a thinner blending brush, if you will. Not really any product. It's kind of dirty, but there's no product on it. And I'm going to blend these with that. You can take a clean brush with no product. I don't have any clean brushes right now. But I'm going to blend that color out. Once you start blending the way you like it, you're gonna lose intensity, so you're gonna have to keep building. And you just build and build until you get the desired look you want and intensity you want. And you just blend it all together. Blend, blend, blend. That's all I say, right? Blend. But it's true. Blending is key to a seamless eye look. So sorry. So now I'm going to go back in with my M167 brush, the one I used for the inner corner. Pick up a little product, and I didn't spray it again, I just picked up a little on the brush. And I'm going to go back in and blend out these edges of where it met with the black. It's a work in progress. Again, if you don't have the time for this, then I don't suggest this type of look. But once you start getting the hang of blending, this type of look takes no time at all. Like I said, this is my go-to like everyday look that I pretty much do. And this eye look can take me 10 minutes because I can go pretty quickly. But if you're learning how to blend and learning how to do your eyeshadow for the first time, definitely pick a day to kind of have time to do this type of look. You don't have to use these colors or anything like that. You don't have to use the Jaclyn Hill palette. You can use any similar palette or colors that you may have. Don't feel like you have to go out and buy the same products that I have. This is just something that, this is a go-to look that I do with the products that I have. I don't go out and buy things to copy people or their looks. I create my own. I will recreate looks that I see on Instagram or any YouTubers that I think is pretty cool. I love the looks that Jaclyn Hill does. She's my favorite. So if I mention her a lot, I'm sorry, but I love her. So anyway, don't feel like you have to go buy the same things that I have. Any similar eyeshadows will do. So once you feel like you have a pretty well blended look, you can move on. I keep going back in no matter what I'm doing on my face, so you'll see me go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm going to zoom you out so we can work on the rest of the face. So for now, the eyes are, well, they're not done, but so we're good. Okay, so next up is more primer. And I go in with the Farsali Unicorn Essence. And what this, I love this because it's very sticky and it adheres the foundation really well. So you want to find a primer that's good for you. I personally just love this primer. It goes well with the foundation that I use, and it smells really good and it works well on my skin. There's some primers that I've tried that are just not for me. This also really helps hydrate. Like I said, I have dry skin, so you want to find something that's hydrating, sticky. You can see the stickiness of it. That means that the foundation's really going to adhere to my skin. So once you have that all patted in, you'll go in with your foundation. And I forgot to wet my sponge. So, oops, sorry. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I got my Real Techniques sponge wet, and I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in the color Shortbread 200B. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and a little bit goes a long way. So when you're using this foundation, please remember that a little goes a long way. Now this foundation oxidizes. I've noticed it oxidizes on my skin. So what you may see on camera may not look like what it does in real life, but it does oxidize, so it comes out a little bit lighter on my skin, but then it oxidizes, it blends in. So I'm gonna take a little bit on my sponge, and I'm just going to pat that all into my skin. Again, on camera, it looks so light. And it's a little bit lighter in person, but it changes. It's so strange. And also the lights that I have here doesn't help. It makes it look way lighter than what it is. So I know what you're all thinking out there. Whoa, she does not use her color. She does not match herself. I do, trust me. Also, if you do have a foundation that you buy that is a little bit lighter and you're like, oh my God, I just wasted money on a lighter shade that I thought was mine, don't worry. I mean, A, you can always exchange it for your shade. B, if you don't have the time for that, which I know a lot of us do not have time to go back to the store, you can always warm up the face by using either a different, a darker color powder, sorry, a darker color powder, or you can warm up the face with a bronzer. You can warm up the face with a bronzer. So no worries, there are tricks to making your face look darker. See, so this side, I don't know if you can tell, probably not, but in real life, it's already oxidized and it's changing into the color that I need. At first I thought, whoa, I bought too light of a color, but then I realized that it oxidizes quickly. If you don't know what oxidize means, it just means it changes color. Sorry, I know this part is pretty boring, but if you don't know a whole lot about foundation, keep watching or fast forward. Up to you. So for those of you that are new to my channel, this is only my second video, but I am here for back to the basics, techniques, tips and tricks to makeup, and I love doing makeup. It is my passion. I love following the beauty gurus on YouTube, and that's how I got my start in learning how to do makeup. I'm self-taught just by watching all of the beauty gurus out there for years. I've been watching Jaclyn Hill, Candy Johnson, Jeffree Star, Casey Holmes. I've been watching them all for like 5-6 years now. And I've always wanted to start my own channel, but I never really had the means or anything to do it. And now that I finally have time and a camera and a computer, I can put up videos for you guys and maybe hopefully inspire some of you guys like I was inspired. and help those out there that are maybe first just getting started with makeup and want to learn how to do eyeshadow or blending or tricks about contouring or anything like that. I'm here to help. So once you have your foundation all blended in, next I'm going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape in the color Light Sand. And this is everyone's favorite concealer. And I'm just going to go under the eyes. Yes, I use a lot of concealer. I am a full coverage queen. So if you don't like full coverage foundation or a full coverage look, I don't suggest these products. But if you do like that full coverage look, then by all means, try these products out. This concealer is very full coverage. So remember when I said I was going to clean up the outsides with my concealer? So I just pretty much go under the eye and draw it out. Down the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, X marks the spot, and you can bring a little bit up on your forehead. So next I'm going to take my Morphe sponge, and I love this sponge because it has a flat edge and a point, and then there's also flat edges on each side. Love it. My favorite sponge by far. So I'm just going to go in and blend all of this concealer out. Now you don't have to use this much concealer if you don't want. Again, I love that full coverage look. So it's up to you on the amount that you use. Some use very little and dot it on. I like to draw it on and blend it out. It gives me that faux filter look. So I'll take that sharp edge there and I'll go underneath the eye. And then with that flat edge, blend all this out. And so this sharp edge right here, I'll just drag it out and sharpen up that eyeshadow, just like that. Now again, if you can't follow these steps or do exactly what I'm saying, don't get frustrated, just keep practicing. That's how I got started, so I'm here for you. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about it, I'm here for you. So don't feel frustrated, because trust me, I was there at one point. I wanted to learn how to do makeup so bad. I loved makeup. I started out buying a bunch of drugstore products that I could afford to try and recreate looks that I would watch on YouTube. And that's how I got started. And then eventually I was able to get more and more higher end products from Sephora and start trying different products and what was best for me. And you just kind of slowly work your way. Don't feel like you have to jump right into it and be a pro, because that's usually not how it works. But trust me, I was there once and I'm here for you. So please do not hesitate to stop by, leave a comment below, and ask me any questions you may have. Okay, so once you feel like that is all blended, I cleaned up my eyeshadow on each side so you have that sharp look. I like to blend one more time under the eye so that it doesn't settle in, and I will take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and set all of that under eye. And it is called baking. I know you've heard that term before. Set the under eye with a translucent powder, or you can use like a banana powder. I used to use a banana powder to set it, but lately, well, I shouldn't say lately. because I've been doing this for a couple years now. The translucent powder works best for me, and it helps my under eye not crease. Because I know a lot of people have issues with under eye creasing, and trust me, I did too. But I finally found a way that my under eye doesn't crease. So with the Tarte Shape Tape and the Laura Mercier together is a really good combo. I was using the RCMA No Color Translucent Powder, but I just felt like it was too white under the eyes. The cast was so weird, it wouldn't go away. I don't know, it was just really weird. I used a lot of it. I used a whole bottle, but then I found this beauty, and now I can't give her up. With the translucent powder, I like to use the damp sponge that I used for my concealer, and I go in and use that to put on the concealer because, God, what is with me today? I use this sponge with the translucent powder to set my under eye. Goodness, I cannot talk. A lot of beauty gurus do that. That's not my technique. That's a lot of beauty gurus out there technique. I just followed suit and I love it. It works for me. So do whatever works for you. Next, I'm gonna go and set the whole face. You don't have to if you don't like setting your face. I just feel like if I set my face, it gives me more of a flawless look. So my choice is the Kat Von D powder. It is the pressed powder. I hit pan already. In the shade Light 45, that's my shade. And I go in with a Morphe E1 brush that looks like this. And I just press my brush in there like that. Get some product and push it all into the face. Now, technique with this that I use is I push it in. I don't swipe it because I feel like swiping is going to swipe away all of your foundation, and you don't want that. You don't want any patches or anything like that. So I push it all into my face. That is how I get kind of a flawless looking type foundation and skin. Make sure you go down your neck so that it doesn't, the transition from the face to the neck doesn't look weird and you don't have foundation lines. Nobody likes foundation lines. Okay. And foundation is done. Dishes are done, man. Who's seen that movie? Who knows what that movie's from? I know all you guys know what that movie is. If you know the movie, put it in the comments below. It's so easy. I'll give you a hint. No, I won't give you a hint because it's too easy. So now we're gonna go back to the eyes. Remember, I jump around. So going back in with the Jaclyn Hill palette and my little card here. I'm not gonna really zoom in, I'll just kind of go like that. I'm going to take the first color in the palette, which is in Light, and that's going to be my highlighting color. And I take that on a Sigma brush eye shader, and it's an E55. You can use any type of brush that you like. I just go in with this one. It's really not for that, but it's what I'm used to, so I use it. So I'll go in and highlight the brow bone. And what I like to do is take it all the way under my eyebrow. You don't have to do that, it's just something I like to do. And as you can see, it's kind of erases what I drug all the way up here. It takes it kind of away. But then I'm gonna go and blend it out because it kind of looks like a harsh line. And I know that looks ugly, but trust me, it won't stay like that. Highlighting your under eyebrow and brow bone area is so important because it really does clean up your eye look and brings it all together. And I know I kind of look weird right now because I don't have the under eye, but that's next. Next, to blend that out, I'll take an It Flex brush. It doesn't have a name or number. It's just a fluffy one that looks like that. And I'm just going to blend that in to the other eyeshadows. You don't have to blend it. You don't have to do any of this. This is just my technique and what I like to do. And it really gives me that blended out look. It just blends everything together. Now, if you feel like you're not liking this top area, you can always go in with a brush, very little product on it. I'm just gonna take this M433 brush, very little product. Like, I'm just gonna take the tiniest bit of silk cream, the tiniest bit. And I'm just gonna go in and very lightly, like I'm barely touching my skin, go in and blend this top part. Like I'm barely touching. Now, I don't feel like I need to do this. Like, I like how it's coming out, but this is just something that you can do to kind of even it out if you don't like the top edges. So first I'm going to use that flat definer, and I'm going to go back in with Buns and Mocha, and I'm going to mix the two together and drag it and push it as close as I can to the lash line, the bottom lash line. Drag it, and I drag it all the way across. Okay, now once I feel like I have enough product, I like to meet the under eye with the top eyeshadow. You don't have to do that because it all blends out, but I like to do that. I'm going to take this brush here, that Sigma one, and I'm just going to blend that out. Whoa. Okay, I feel like I have a gap right here, so I'm just going to take a tiny bit of product on here and push that in the corner and blend it. Okay. Oh. When I was blending out, it went in my eyeball. Oh. All right, then next I'm going to take the M433, and I'm going to take the tiniest bit of Silk Cream and MFEO. I'm going to mix those two together, and I'm going to take that and drag it underneath. And it doesn't matter how far you go down because you want it blended out and you want it to look blown out and blended out. But I take a little amount and start with a little amount first and then blend it all. And then I'll pick up more if I feel like I need more. Sorry. Okay. After the under eye is done is the highlight in the inner corner. So back in again with Enlight, that first color in the palette. I'll take that on a small, tiny little brush. I just have this duo end brush from Mally. It's something I've been using forever. You don't have to use this. You can take like a pencil brush I have here from Sigma, the E30. You could take a pencil brush like that and do it. You can really take any brush. It doesn't have to be anything like this. But this is just what I use. That first color, dip it in, and highlight the inner corners. Sorry, you can't see me. Oh, I love this shade to highlight. It is so beautiful. I'll use it all over the lid too. It's such a gorgeous color. Okay, so the eyes are finished. Next, I move on to bronzer. And I'm going to go in with my Benefit Hoola. That's what it looks like. This is the mini because they were out of the regular size, but I love this bronzer. I don't know what I was doing without it before I got it. It just goes very well with my skin. So on a Morphe M527 brush, which looks like this, I'm going to dip it in lightly because it picks up a lot of product. Tap off a lot of the excess and just start warming up the face. I just like to go in circular motions. Trust me, a little goes a long way. Do not pick up a ton of product. Sorry, the sun is like cutting me off here and I don't like that. Oh. A little product goes a long way. And you don't want your face looking like poopy or muddy. So take the tiniest, littlest bit and work it your way up. Because trust me, it'll ruin your makeup and you'll have to take it all off and you'll be one PO'd Mo-F. Mo-F. I've never said that before. Mo-F. You know what I'm trying to say. So just bring it up all along the edges of your face and warm up your face. Okay, I'm really not liking that light. It's bothering me. Take it underneath the jawline, kind of just chisel out. What this does is it shades, so it kind of gives that like popped out look. It just kind of outlines your face and gives that shaded effect to kind of pop your face out a little bit. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with blush, and I'm going to take Warm Soul by MAC. I need to get a new one because I hit pan and it is almost gone, but I love it. And I'm going to take it on a Morphe E4 blush brush. And let's see what I can get out of this because I've used it to the bone. On the apples of my cheeks. And again, with blush, you can always build it up. So I do a little bit at a time to kind of blend it and build it up. I love this color. I just think it's so universal. So once you're happy with the blush, next we will go in with highlights. And for today's highlight, since I used, let's see, actually I'm gonna go in with back in with the Tarteist Pro Glow palette, and I'm going to use this color right here in the shade Stunna. Well, Stunner, but I think I'm cool. So it kind of matches that inner corner shade, and I like that. So I'm gonna take a Morphe R31 brush, looks like so, and I just kind of dip it in back and forth like that, and highlight cheekbones. Remember, you're highlighting the high points of your face. So wherever you feel like the sun is going to hit, that's where you highlight. So mainly the cheekbones. I am a highlighting junkie. I love highlight, so I pack it on. But you can do as little or less as you'd like. Little or less, that's the same thing. Get it together, Ashley. You know what I mean. It's early in the morning. I just got home yesterday from traveling. I'm tired. So forgive me. So the top of the cheekbones, and I bring it up a little bit on the side of the face, the tip of the nose, Cupid's bow. Oh, that shade is so pretty. Chin. And some people like to take it up here. I don't really do it up here, but for the sake of the video. And just a tiny bit. The sun mostly hits here on the cheekbones. I don't know if you can see it, but there we go. It's a beautiful shade. Okay, lips are done. Now we just have some setting spray and we are finished. So I'm gonna take the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, the best setting spray. And I'm just gonna mist that all over my face. Any setting spray will do. Urban Decay setting spray is bomb. This is so good. And that's gonna set your face all day and it won't budge or move. So I think that is it for this makeup look. Let me zoom you in. Come on, zoom. So this is the finished look on the eyes. And, oops, wrong one. And the face.